Hello everyone. If you are in PR, you already know the biggest problem. Journalists don't care about your company announcement, they care about news. But what if I told you that some of the most successful PR campaigns didn't wait for news? They actually manufactured it. Not fake news, not lying, but engineering a story that journalists actually want to cover. So, today I'm going to show you exactly how PR teams manufacture news ethically, the frameworks top agencies use, and how you can turn boring company updates to headlines. So, let's get started. First, let's understand the truth about news, which is that most companies have nothing newsworthy happening. Launching a feature, hiring someone, opening a new office. To journalists, that's not a news. News requires at least one of these elements, which is conflict, surprise, data, trend, and impact. If your story doesn't contain one of those elements, it will almost certainly get ignored. This is why great PR professionals don't ask, do we have news? They instead ask, how do we turn what we have into news? So let's see what are the five ethical ways PR teams manufacture news. These are frameworks used by top PR agencies and media strategists. First is the data story method. The easiest way to manufacture news is data. Journalists love statistics because statistics turn opinions into stories. For example, instead of announcing our marketing platform launched a new feature, you run a survey and pitch 73% of marketers say AI tools increased burnout, not productivity. Now you have a stat, a debate, and a story. And suddenly, media outlets want commentary. How PR teams do this actually? They do survey customers, analyze internal product data, use public data sets, commission research. This is why companies like HubSpot, LinkedIn, and Spotify constantly release reports. They are manufacturing news cycles with data. Second is trend hijacking. Another powerful tactic is trend piggybacking. Instead of pitching a standalone story, you attach your insight to something already trending. Example, a major tech layoff happens. Now, instead of pitching your startup, you pitch startup founder explains why layoffs are about AI productivity and not recession. Now, you are commenting on an existing news wave. This is called reactive PR, where PR teams monitor Google Trends, Twitter trending topics, breaking news alerts, journalist request platforms. Speed is everything, So the fastest expert voice often gets quoted. Next is the contrarian angle. Journalists love disagreement. A powerful way to manufacture news is to challenge conventional wisdom. For example, everyone says remote work is the future. Your headline becomes Why Remote Work is Killing Startups, according to a founder who tried it. This works because it creates intellectual conflict. But the key rule is the argument must be defensible, controversial gets attention, but credibility gets coverage. Next is the experiment story. This one works extremely well on YouTube and media. Run an experiment. Example experiments could be we replaced our marketing team with AI for 30 days, or we tried a 4-day work week for 6 months, or we let ChatGPT run our customer service. Now the story becomes company runs radical experiment. Here's what happened. Media love experiments because they create narrative tension. There's a beginning, a test, and a surprising result. The next one is the insider reveal. Journalists love behind the scene insights. If you have access to industry knowledge, turn it into story. Example, instead of pitching we run an SEO agency, pitch that SEO agency analyzed 100,000 Google rankings. Here's what actually works in 2025, 2026, or what most founders misunderstand about venture capital. This transforms expertise into journalistic insight. Let's understand the newsworthiness formula, which is a simple formula that PR teams use to engineer stories, which is story equals insight plus tension plus relevance. With insight, we mean something people didn't know before. With tension, we mean a surprising result, debate, or experiment. With relevance, we mean why it matters now. For example, when we say insight, it can be 60% of remote workers secretly work two jobs. When we talk about tension, it could be something that says this challenges remote work culture. Or when we talk about relevance, it could be something that remote work is a global debate, something like that. That's a headline. Now let's see how to turn boring announcements into news. Let's run a quick transformation exercise. Boring PR headline examples are startup launches AI email tool. Now let's manufacture news. Data angle. Insert that. For example, say something like study finds employees spend 9 hours per week writing emails. When we are talking about trend angle, this same title could be AI tools are replacing junior marketers. When we say experiment angle, it could be something like company used AI to send every internal email for 1 week. When we talk about contrarian angle, it could be AI productivity tools are actually making teams slower. Same company, four different news stories. This is PR storytelling engineering. Let's understand about the ethical line. Manufacturing news is powerful, but there's a clear ethical line. When we say good PR, it is something that reframes truth, adds insight, creates context. When we say bad PR, it's something that fabricates data, misleads journalists, and manipulates quotes. If journalists lose interest, you lose access forever. The best PR professionals don't invent stories, they discover the story hidden inside reality. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this, that companies don't get media coverage because they exist. They get coverage because they create narratives journalists want to tell. And the best PR teams aren't waiting for the news, they are engineering it. So here's an example of good versus bad pitch. A bad pitch is vague, it's self promotional, it's salesy, there is no data, and it doesn't look credible as you can see over here. There's no real story either. But when we say a good pitch, it's something that provides data, that provides clear story angle, and is relevant to workplace productivity trends or is relevant to what you actually do. So, before you go, I want to ask you something. Think about the last PR pitch you sent. Was it an announcement or was it actually a story journalist would want to publish? Because that single shift is what separates ignored pitches from media coverage. So, I'm here to give you a challenge. Take one boring company update and try turning it into three different story angles using the frameworks from this video. If you come up with a good one, drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more insider PR tactics like this, hit subscribe. So let me know down in the comments box what you think and your insights, and I will see you in the next one.